Hello, my fine feathered friends. I'm Songbird. If you're a busy adult who loves to play Ark, this video is for you. Today I'm sharing my top 10 must-have quality of life mods that remove some of the grind and frustration and make Ark fun again. Some of these are already pretty popular, some are a bit more obscure. I'm curious which ones you've heard of or tried before. Let me know in the comments. And stay tuned after the top 10. I have a bonus couple of mods that I only discovered pretty recently, but they very quickly joined my must-have list. Let's jump in. I'm using my Astraeus community server to showcase these mods, but they are ones that I have on all my community servers, and they're useful even in single player. So I am on the Nitrado CurseForge mods page for this Nitrado server. You will see if I scroll down, there is this section here that shows you how many gigabytes of mods are installed in the server. And this is pretty important because, for one thing, consoles have a hard cap of 20 gigabytes of mods in total. And that includes every mod they're using in single player as well and on other servers. If you're running a crossplay server like I am, you have to be careful about that. And even if you're running a PC only server, if your mod list gets too bloated, your PC players will start to have issues too. So you want to be reasonable with your mod size. I try to keep my mod lists to under 7 gigabytes. When you're using a mod map, then a lot of that budget is taken up by the mod map. And so then I have to be pretty conservative with the other mods that I add, because Astraeus, like most mod maps, is over 5 gigabytes already by itself. So on top of that, I have a super cryo storage, and I absolutely love this mod. As you can tell, it's very popular, 2 million downloads. It's very reasonable in size, only 42 megabytes, and it's got some really great quality of life features, both for players and also to make your server run better. So yeah, I highly recommend it. There are other mods that do the same thing, so this is not the only one. I've heard really good things about Peliori's cryopods as well, and also I've heard good things about Dino Depot. I haven't used Peliori's very much though, and I haven't used Dino Depot at all, but the things that I like about super cryo storage I hear are in both of those mods as well. So this is something they have in common. For one thing, you have cryopods that work faster than the vanilla ones, and you also have cryopods that don't have a spoil timer on them, which is amazing. And by default, they do not need to be in the radius of a cryo fridge in order to be tossed out. So they're a little bit more like the Ark Survival Evolved cryopods in that way, but even better because, for one thing, you can change the crafting recipe in the INI files. And if anybody wants to know the INI settings that I'm using, feel free to hop on my Discord and ask about it, and I'm happy to share that. But I have it set so that all they take to craft them is crystal. I think it's 1 crystal per cryopod or something like that. I want them to be cheap because I want people to use them, because, you know, people talk about big bases lagging out servers. Dinos lag servers way more than structures do, because the dinos have all these timers going on, eating, pooping, their mating timers ticking down, all of that kind of stuff. All takes a lot of memory and resources for the server. And so if they're stored in some way so that they're not out in the world, then the server just runs a lot better. And also they're safer. You know, you don't have to worry as much about some alpha raptor getting in your base and killing all your dinos if they're all safely tucked away in a cryo storage terminal or even in a box. And other features about this that I just love and can't live without is the fact that within this terminal, you can set it up so that the creatures inside will also produce resources, the same resources they would produce if they were out in the world. So you no longer have to have a massive, laggy, noisy kibble farm, and you don't have to spend half your game time trying to keep all your troughs filled. You can have your kibble dinos stored away in a cryo terminal, and they'll produce eggs in there, and your snails will produce paste in there without having to be fed veggie cakes constantly. And your dung beetles will convert poop into fertilizer. You can set the dinos to also produce poop in there, and then the dung beetle in the terminal will convert it into fertilizer, and the terminal can even distribute it to your crop plots. So that's a very handy bit of automation. You don't have to run around putting all the fertilizer in all the crop plots all the time. I love how it cuts down on your base chores, leaving you more time to actually have fun. Because, let's face it, we're all busy adults. We don't have time to mess around. We only have a very limited amount of time these days to actually play games. And when you have time to play a game, you want to do the fun stuff. You don't want to spend your entire time doing base chores. So little quality of life tweaks like that are definitely well worth the 42 megabytes of space. And also the gun, the Dino pickup gun, so good. So very good, because you can pick up your dinos instantly and from a distance. If your dino falls down somewhere and you can't reach them, you can rescue them that way. Yeah. So anyway, can't live without this one. It's a must-have. Awesome spyglass. This is one that you will probably have noticed on a lot of YouTubers' videos, where it'll pop up a little thing on the left-hand side of the screen that says what level a dino is, and also show its health and torpidity, and like a preview of its pre-tame stats, and also it gives you a list of what taming foods it needs. So that is Awesome Spyglass. It's super handy. I love being able to, once again, save time. That's kind of my key in how I like to balance my servers. It's not about making the game easier. It's about saving time. So that's why, I don't boost XP gain. I don't boost player health and damage and stamina and all that kind of stuff. I don't touch any of that stuff. I leave all that stuff vanilla, because I want the game to feel challenging, but I don't want you to spend all of your playtime hacking on rocks and taming dinos that end up being worthless. I mean, sometimes they're still worthless, right? It's still Ark, but at least you can take a look at their pre-tame stats and you can decide for yourself, is that one worth my time or not? Do I want to risk spending the amount of time it'll take to tame that creature or not? If I see one that has 35 pre-tame melee, heck yeah, I'm going to stop whatever I'm doing and I'm going to go tame it. If it's got 20 or 25, maybe not. There might be something else I'd rather do. So very valuable information, and also the ability to see how much health the creature has. So makes it easier to knock it out without killing it, because you know exactly how many more hits it can take. You can see its torpor and whether its torpor is still coming up. So whether you should maybe wait and let the torpor sink in a bit before you shoot it some more. Yeah, just super handy in all kinds of different ways. And the outline that it has can be very handy with spotting creatures, especially small creatures or difficult to see ones in your environment. But I know a lot of people don't like it, and the outline can be enabled and disabled easily via the radial. You just hold down the same key that you would use to bring up your emotes wheel, I believe T, and you can just toggle that on or off. B plus is one of, there's quite a few of these now, but it's one of the S plus ports into Ark Survival Ascended. S plus, if you're not familiar, was the #1 most popular mod in Ark Survival Evolve for many years. Millions upon millions of downloads. It was one of the must-have mods that Steam Ark players, just a lot of us wouldn't play without it because of all the little quality of life tweaks that it brought. That mod was so good that actually the modder who created it ended up getting hired by Wildcard, and now he's a full-time Wildcard employee, and he's actually the one who made the new building system for Ark Survival Ascended. So the fact that all the snap points work so much better than in Ark Survival Evolve involved and it's so much easier to figure out. Yeah, that's because of him. So anyway, this mod includes a lot of the same basic features that we loved in S+. It has the ability to pull resources to your inventory and pull resources to other inventories. You can pull to craft, pull to repair. I'm thinking of making a quick little video sometime going over how to use those functions. It also has the multi-tool, which you can use to pick up structures at a distance or demolish them. You can turn creatures on and off mating, which is very handy. So many different features. And yeah, the gun and the Omni tool are also things that I really need to make a separate video going through those. But the Omni tool, even if the only feature you ever use on the Omni tool is the basic transfer, it is well worth a spot in your inventory. If I want to move a container that has a lot of stuff in the inventory, normally that's a huge pain, right? Like this has thousands of pounds of resources in it. And if I decided I wanted it in a different spot, that would be really annoying to move. But with this on basic transfer, what I can do is I can pick up the box, let the stuff drop in a bag, and then right click on the bag, which counts as an inventory, and then put the container down in the new spot. And it does have to be, there is a range on it. You couldn't do it on the other side of the map. And then left click and boom, everything's transferred over. Another function that was recently added and which I am loving so much is the ability to resize crafting stations. Already the B+ crafting stations were all a little bit better than vanilla. This is how you make them, by the way. They're all variants of vanilla, which is super nice because that means you can even get them in drops and stuff like that. So you just make the vanilla one, get it in a drop, whatever. And then when you're holding it, you hit R to switch to the B+ version. And then you can place it. And the B+ ones by default are silent. No more noisy generator or fabricator. So nice. They have more slots in their inventories and they can be resized. Like, check this out. Is this not amazing? Love that feature so much. Oh, and B+ structures, all of the amazing things that it adds. And I was only scratching the surface. There's more. All of that. And it's only 61.2 megabytes. Tiny little mod. And then better breeding is only 6.15 megabytes. Tiny little mod, but it saves so much time and so much bloodshed because all that this mod doesn't add any items, doesn't lag your server at all. All it does is that it guarantees that when you breed two dinos, their baby will automatically get the best stats of both parents. That's all. You still have to go out and tame creatures with good stats and try to get better and better stats, sure. But now you don't have to breed them so many times and have so many extra babies, end up killing so many unwanted babies trying to get those stats stacked so that you get a breeding pair that have all the best stats. Now it's super quick and easy, just saves you time, doesn't raise the chances of mutation or anything like that. If you want to mutate dinos, you still have to try for a while to get mutations, but it saves so much time and is well worth it. And then Clifton's backpacks, I discovered this one actually last December of 2023, not that long after ASA came out. Clifton added this to the game and I did a video about it back then. It's since been added onto. It is 73.6 megabytes and it adds these awesome backpacks to the game, 3 different tiers of them that you can craft, and at the different tiers it will give you weight reduction on the items in your inventory. Now I do use a custom INI for this. By default it only will give you weight reduction on raw resources, so stone, metal, wood, stuff like that. I have it set in the INI to give weight reduction on everything because I hate being over encumbered. Once again, time. It just wastes so much time having to take multiple trips to do something boring like like unload a creature or whatever. So the tier 1 gives a lower amount of weight reduction, the tier 2 gives a higher amount, and then the tier 3 gives an even better amount. The default, it was something that seemed a little less intuitive to me. It was, I don't know, it was something like 15% weight reduction for the first tier, and then 50%, and then 85%. I figured early game is when you need more of a boost. And so I have it set to where tier 1 gives you 25% weight reduction on everything across the board. Tier 2 gives you 50% weight reduction. Tier 3 gives you 75% weight reduction. So something that should weigh 100 pounds will only weigh 25 pounds in your inventory if you're wearing a tier 3 backpack. All of the different backpack models work the same, just depending on the tier. So you just can pick whichever one goes with the look or aesthetic that you enjoy the most. And here's another thing I love about them. They don't take up any of your skin slots, and they don't take up any of your hotbar slots. They don't take up any kind of slots at all. The backpack doesn't have an inventory. You don't have to put things in and out of it. All you do is in your inventory, you just activate it. You just click use on it, almost as if you were eating it or something. You just highlight it and hit E or whatever you use to activate it, and that will toggle it to on, and you will visually see the backpack on your character, and you'll get the weight reduction. And since it is buff based essentially, and you toggle it on and off with the item, even if you take the item out of your inventory after that, you'll still have the buff, but you have to put the item back in your inventory in order to turn it off again if you want to. So anyway, yeah, that's a super fun one. Love that little quality of life tweak. And Nano's Reusables, love this one. There's several Reusables mods, and they're all good. All the ones I've tried, I've enjoyed. It's basically just a matter of what works best for your server and your community. But the things that I like about it, about Nano's Reusables specifically, is that it includes all the items. You know what, actually, I should back up a little bit. What is a Reusables mod? I know a lot of people are new to using mods, never got to use them in Ark Survival Evolved, or maybe new to Ark entirely. Well, there's a lot of items in Ark that are consumable, one-time use, or break really fast that don't really make sense as to why. For example, parachutes. Parachutes in real life are not one-time use. Why is it that in Ark they are? The makers of the Reusables mods, the different ones that are out there, think that, that's not really necessary, especially if you're playing PvE. And so there's a reusable version of a parachute, for example, which you can use it and then it's back in your hotbar, and you can use it as many times as you like without having to craft another one. There's a reusable bola, so you only have to craft one bola and then you can just keep using it. There's a reusable spear, which in this mod, in some of the reusable mods, the spear is just unbreakable. I believe in this one it can break, but it doesn't break as often or as easily. Until it breaks, you can basically keep throwing spears rather infinitely, which can look pretty funny sometimes. And it also has the glider suit from Aberration, but it doesn't require any Aberration resources to make. So that's super handy for on other maps if you love the glider suit as much as I do. And it also has a couple of different versions of grapples that are reusable. You can either make an entirely separate grapple crossbow so that it's all in one item and it's just a reusable grapple. You can use it as many times as you like. Or if you want to be able to use it more like a regular grapple where you equip it into an existing crossbow, then you can just create a reusable grapple that you can equip to your own crossbow. So either way, awesome little mod. It's got a bunch of other little tweaks and items that I enjoy. Well worth the 6.68 megabytes that one takes up. And then Omega teleporters. Teleporter mods, some people feel they are a bit OP. That's all down to how you play. I'm a big believer in, Ark is a sandbox. You can set up your sandbox with whatever toys you want to set up your sandbox with. For me, for all the players who have ever played with a teleporter mod, pretty much that's one of their must-have must-haves is they've got to have a teleporter mod. Once you've played with one, it's really hard to go back to not having it anymore. And so pretty much the only time my servers won't have that is if I'm doing a challenge of some kind. So it adds a teleporter that unlocks without having to do any boss fights. It's not tech tier. It just requires, metal, electronics, cementing paste, crystal, stuff like that. So it's not a super early game thing. Early game, you're still going to have to run around and you're still going to have to walk or ride a dino everywhere you want to go. And wherever you want to set up teleports, of course, you have to go there on foot the first time or on dino and put a teleport pad there. If you want to make that into a permanent teleport point, you can set them to be public so that anyone on your server can use them, or by default, they're only for members of your own tribe that can use them. You can also respawn at them. This particular teleporter mod, there's a few different ones, each have different features. This is the one that my players have been enjoying. So this is the one we're using now, only 4 megabytes. But yes, also the teleporters can function as a respawn point. You can recall creatures to yourself using the teleporter or using the teleporter remote. That's right. For players who have not played with a teleporter mod before, you get a remote that you are able to use to teleport yourself back to any of your teleport points that are set up. You can also use the remote to teleport to a specific tribe member. This saves so much time when you're trying to coordinate playing with a friend. Oh, where are you? I'm at these coordinates. I can't see you. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. So much time wasted trying to find your friends to play with them. With this, you can just teleport to them. So that's super handy. You can also, this one's a little controversial, but you can pull your death cache to yourself using the teleporter pad. If that seems OP to you, then you don't have to use that function. It's up to you. For me, this game arcs you often enough, makes it impossible for you to get your inventory back through other means, that I don't mind using it when my time is short and I don't have time to get into a classic Ark death spiral of going back over and over and over and dying more and more and more trying to get my stuff back. It's like, I only have 45 more minutes to play and I don't want to spend it doing this. It's really handy. It's a massive quality of life improvement being able to just go, you know what? I'm just going to pull my death cache. I'm going to teleport my dino back to myself and I'm going to move on. So Scribbles Better Signs, this is one that I actually discovered for the first time when I was playing Ark Survival Evolved, and it very quickly joined my list of must-haves. It's only 4.6 megabytes, super tiny little mod, but it adds so much functionality. The signs are so much better than the default signs. Now, some people have been confused with this. They go, I installed the mod, but I can't find the modded signs. You have to make a base game sign and then toggle through the variants, because the Scribbles signs are variants of the base game sign. So you make a base game wood or metal sign, and then you hit R to go through the regular ones until you start seeing the ones with Scribbles in front of the name. And then you can just make whatever one of those you want. There's so many different sizes and options, and you can resize these massively. I mean, you can make a sign small enough to be a plant marker in your garden, or a tiny little, name tag on a creature stall or door, or you can make a billboard that is bigger than your house. If you want to make sure that your tribe member doesn't miss whatever message you're leaving for them, you can make dang sure that they will see the sign with this one. And you can change the font. You can change, there's like 50 different fonts now. It's kind of crazy how many fonts there are. You can paint these and also paint the text. You can set it to glow like a neon sign. You can put them on a wall, and you can make the sign itself go invisible so that you just have the text either floating in midair or on your wall or whatever other another item that you put the sign on. You can make the sign disappear so that all you see is the text. You can resize the text separately from the size of the sign. And instead of having such a very limited amount of space in which to write, you have 1,000 characters to write on this dang thing. You know, just for fun one time to see how much I could put on one of these signs, I copy and pasted the entire first chapter of The Hobbit onto a billboard in Scribbles Better Signs. So yeah, well worth the under 5 megabytes that one is. And kudos to that mod creator for making a fabulous little mod. Barrett's Better Storage, there are a ton of mods in ASA to improve the storage situation, to improve the inventory handling situation. I mean, B+ does that as well. The thing that I like about this one, the reason why it's become a must-have on my servers, is it is very simple. It's only 9 megabytes, adds only one item to the game. It adds this reskin of the base game small box, same size and everything, even snaps with the base game small box, but it's red and it has 50,000 health and 600 slots. As many slots as 2 base game vaults, but it only takes up the space of one small box. And it even casts light around itself. So early game, especially when you don't have access yet to vaults and bigger, better storage, being able to put your stuff in a box and not have to worry about it getting broken super quickly, not having to have a dozen small boxes to keep all your stuff in because they only have 15 slots. I always have thought that was kind of silly. It's a massive quality of life improvement on a mod that is super tiny. And that's the kind of thing I look for in my must-have quality of life mods. So yes, loving that one. Barrett's Better Storage. And then Better Bookcase version 2. This is another tiny little one, 9 megabytes, kind of in the vein of that Barrett's Better Storage, just adds the one item. It's a bookcase that has a similar resource expense, and it has 50,000 HP and 1,000 inventory. And the structure itself looks like the original bookcase, but is a little bit darker, and the material acts as metal tier. So yeah, so most creatures cannot damage it, and you don't have to worry as much about your precious blueprints being lost because something broke your base, or because you can't be trusted with explosives and accidentally may have blown up your own base a time or two. Yeah, I wouldn't have any idea what that would be like. Of course not. Yeah. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Foundation ceilings. This one is really interesting because it doesn't add any new textures or anything. It adds a range of ceilings that look exactly the same as the vanilla ones, to the point where you can even put the same skins on them that you could put on vanilla ceilings. It's less than a megabyte, 830.3 kilobytes, but all these ceilings have foundation support. You can make floating structures with this if you want to, or if you want to make a balcony and not have to worry about a ton of pillars going downward, you can use these ceilings. Even just pop one in occasionally when you run out of foundation support, and then boom, you've got foundation support. Really nice also for making bridges and so many different things. It frees you to do a lot of creative things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do. And also for newer builders, figuring out how foundation support works in Ark can be a little bit frustrating at times. And so yeah, this just takes some of that frustration out, just allowing you to play with the building system and just build whatever you want to build. Dino color tokens. This one was requested by a member of my servers, and I do always take into consideration mods that are requested by my server members. So Dino color tokens, it is a 587.8 kilobytes, less than 1 megabyte, and it adds these tokens that you can use to to change your creature's colors. So it changes them permanently. So once you've changed a creature's colors using this token, you can breed those colors into that Dino's descendants, which also means that in addition to being a lightweight mod to start with, if you remove this mod later, all it does is take away the tokens, but your creatures keep the colors because it changed their colors permanently in that creature's coding. So that's really well structured, I think. And mods like this that only add one item and are very freely stackable, there's very little risk with this kind of mod causing problems on servers because of the small size, because of the fact that it doesn't have ongoing changes to vanilla game aspects. So that makes it very clean and stackable, very simple to use, and very safe for server owners to consider adding. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. If it was, yeah, just let me know if there's any of these mods you had not heard of before, if there's any of them that are favorites of yours already and that you can't live without. Let me know if you have other ones that I don't even know about. I always love to learn about new mods. I'm kind of a nerd about mods. Don't make mods myself, but I'm fascinated by them. I hang out with modders, chat with modders, and then I love to talk to players about all the cool mods that I learn about. So if you know of some that I don't know about, please tell me, share them with me so that I can try them out as well. And if you'd like to come and join us over on my servers, one of the things with my servers is they are definitely balanced towards busy adults who don't have a ton of time to play Ark and don't have time for silly nonsense. So we play PvE style, but I do have friendly fire enabled, and the servers themselves are set to PvP because we're open to the occasional bout of PvP as long as everybody's having fun. You know, as long as it is by consent and nobody's bullying anyone. People are not allowed to steal from each other, no going around wiping bobs on the beaches and dumb stuff like that. But if you want to build a base and then invite the server to come raid it, say, hey, come try to raid my base, I bet you guys can't get in, whatever, that could be fun. Like, I don't have a problem with that. And also having the server set to PvP also has some benefits in breeding, in a lot of different things. That's what we're doing for now. We may end up changing it at some point. But yeah, we're really laid back, really easygoing, and pretty much just no toxic players. Just play and have fun. I don't like to overly police my servers because I don't have time for it. And you know what? I don't think that anybody should have to spend a lot of time policing the details of how adults choose to play a video game in their free time, you know? So I'm not going to micromanage you. I'm not going to tell you how to play the game. I'm going to set up my sandboxes the way I like to set them up, with the toys I like to include in them, and then just let you loose to have fun in whatever way makes sense to you, as long as it's not hurting anybody else. So yeah, if that sounds like fun to you, if you would like to come and join my servers, right now I have an Aberration server and an Astreus server, and I also have a Temptress Lagoon server, which is a standalone server where people have access to creative mode if they want to experiment with creative mode building. But they're open to channel members, so if you're interested in becoming a channel member, just pick that join button below the video or on my main channel page. And honestly, keeping them to just channel members is just a really simple, fairly low bar to just keep trolls and griefers and jerks out, you know? Most of the people who are attracted to my content and attracted to my Discord tend to be pretty positive people. I mean, we're a pretty cool community that we're putting together. And so if you like the vibe that we're creating here and you'd like to hang out with other adults who play video games, who have a chill, laid back, non-toxic sort of vibe as well, then yeah, come join the Discord. Think about becoming a channel member and playing on the servers. It can be a great way to make friends as well. So that's my bird's eye view. Thanks to Nitrado for feathering my nest by sponsoring my servers, and massive thanks to my channel members, the Homebirds, Birds of a Feather, and the Little Birds. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I worked hard to make it, so if you did enjoy it, don't forget to pick the like button. And I hope you will come home to roost and join the flock over on my Discord. And
And if you are part of our super secret club of people who watch to the end of the video, then please leave a dodo emoji in the comments as our, it's like our secret handshake or whatever. And then I'll know who you are, and if you comment regularly, I'll start to recognize your name and get to know you, and you won't just be a number anymore. And I think that's totally cool. So yeah, I love to get to know y'all. We'll see you next time. Fly free, my birds, and remember, don't let anyone clip your wings.